Well, we're very excited for our next speaker. I particularly am because I've now gotten to know her quite well from rehearsals and spending time with her and doing IGTV Live. And she is who she is for a reason. And look, she always looks amazing. Ty, this is
my God, Megan, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am actually super great. And there was a change of plans on my end. And so I was meeting one of my dear friends who I used to work with in magazine publishing, who I call my work wife, who's in town from New Jersey, where I'm from, with her beautiful daughter. And so instead of leaving dinner, I brought my laptop with me, and I am here as a modern day wife, not wife yet, spending time with family and engaging with you. So I'm super excited to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much for making it all go right. That's really appreciated. So, and you look amazing. Ty, we're going to have another event where you just teach everyone how to dress, because it's ridiculous already. I'm not even going to ask you where you buy your stuff anymore, because
it's everywhere. I think that the top is Ellery. This is Zara.
Really?
I totally mix it up. I am really one of those modern day dressers. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit. I'm one of those modern day women who appreciates just what looks good and what works. And also, like, it's COVID. Ain't nobody trying to spend all the money, right? So you got to make it work. But thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Well, if for those of you who might be meeting Ty for the first time, she's been a host, a writer. She's done lots of things over many, many years, but she actually looks the best now, I think, than she has in all the videos that I saw of her on YouTube. Your skin is glowing, and she's basically, she knows everyone. At least that's what it looks like. She's written for everyone, and yet she's completely personable, relatable, and just has a ton of information to share. So we're really excited. We're going to be doing this one Q&A style. So I actually wrote these questions based on what I want to know. And I think what I want to know is probably what our audience wants to know. So tell us a little bit of how you actually got started in your career.
Wow, that's a really great question. Professionally, I was really fortunate. I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, an all women's college. And so I am very comfortable in women's spaces. I went to an all-girls high school, and then moved into magazine publishing. So I started interning while I was in college, which, I think at that time wasn't as broadcasted and as normalized as something that you did. It seemed like a huge kind of like, I don't know, like a luxury in many ways, I guess, to have access to certain internships. And so I started interning in publishing when I was a sophomore in college. And then I worked for this woman by the name of Oprah right out of college. And that was my first job out of college. And dare I say that, being in spaces like that really groom you to be to not only be determined, but it really helps you to rise to the occasion. And after that, I was really just fortunate to have opportunities presented to me where I was just like, I'm going to make this happen. And so I went on to become a beauty editor, and then an editor-in-chief, and then an accidental entrepreneur and philanthropist. And I don't know, I feel like I've had like 25 lives.
I understand that. I feel like I've living in Manhattan and living in LA is like, it's just bizarre, right? Like, yeah. I can't even explain to people how different it is in Los Angeles, but it definitely is like a different planet and a different life. Like, I'm not the same person I was. It's just the truth.
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000%. As I sit here with, as I said, we call ourselves war heroes together, because magazine publishing at that time was a very, intense environment. One that meant a lot. And actually, we were having conversations about what we learned during that time. But, when you live and work in New York City, especially in a competitive industry and space such as magazines, you show up differently constantly. And fortunately, I think for some experiences and wisdom, and now also being here in LA, where the lifestyle, we talked about this the other day, it's like, I'm dressed for you all today. Hello, modern day wife, because I typically just have on a sports bra and leggings, because that's what we do here in LA.
There's an influencer that I follow that spoke at one of our events, Ashley Torres, and I am wearing the Amazon shorts that she recommended for work from home with a Shop Bop sweater circa 2 years ago. I don't even know. So
that's called efficiency, effective, and stylish, and being comfortable. And I'm about all those things. And I think, honestly, I think COVID is teaching us that, like, how you can stay authentic and true to you, how and when you need to step outside of those zones, but also the power of staying in that place. And so even with the work that I do now, I mean, I've talked about how I got my start, but I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years now, and launched a year ago a new beauty and wellness company called Brown Girl Jane. That is a luxury plant-based wellness collection. And, I think prioritizing wellness is something that I want all women, no matter where you are in your life, no matter where you are in your career, no matter if you're balancing and juggling being a mom and a wife and a partner and, a badass in all spaces, that we have to honor our wellness and our health and prioritize that, and whatever that looks like for you. So yay Shop Bop sweater and yay Amazon shorts.
Exactly. You got it. Well, let me ask you a question. So being around Oprah and being around, obviously, people who really know what they're doing, right? Like, I'll give you a quick example of what I'm going to ask you. So Julie Chen Moonbase has spoken at a few of our events, and we just had her for an intimate event about a month ago. And someone asked her a question about Oprah. And she said when she would give a question, Oprah would say, do you want the 1 minute answer or the something other answer, right? So she knew, because she had been a producer herself and had planned the show, she knew what to give Julie Chen as an interviewer at that time, being on the opposite side. So that was really interesting to me because she's a professional, right? She knows how to provide what the person needs. And that stuck out to me. So for you, what's someone who you worked with or some experience you have in some field, what has stuck out to you as something that has helped you or stuck with you for many years, and 2, made you realize that you should really stick with your own intuition?
Wow. I think intuition is a muscle that you have to be willing to exercise. And that means sometimes you're not going to lift it, the weight is heavy that you might set out to lift. And other times it's going to be very instinctive and easy to do. But I think it's something that you have to practice. I do think that women innately have a powerful intuition that even for me, I felt very young and early. Like if I look back at some of the moments in my life that were most illuminating for me, I felt like there was this whisper. And that is no matter like what your faith is. But I think a moment in time that my intuition really spoke to me, where it had just tremendous value, is I think it goes to what you shared earlier about, and I get this a lot. People are always so surprised about how grounded and humble I am. And I'm always like, well, I mean, I don't know who else to be. Like, I think I've just been this way my entire life. And I think my intuition tells me that we are meant to be connected as people. I think even more, my intuition tells me that we're meant to be connected as human. And so when anything created, commercial, enterprising, is formed in a way to divide us, that is anti-intuition for me. And so even with developing Brown Girl Jane, it's tribe-centered. It's focused on, how do we help women feel connected to themselves and to other people? So I think my intuition, anytime I feel like there is a wedge being driven either between me and someone else or me and humanity, then it's not for me. And I think that that's the case for women. We're just community-centered and tribal people.
I agree completely on.
Oh, I know. I'm like, is it time to go already? Hi,
Megan. Right? Megan. I'm like, what do you mean? No.
I get the turn up. That's the other thing. Beauchamp loves having very spiritual, connected conversation. Beauchamp loves, all the fun things. Beauchamp loves business, but I love a turn up too.
Well, I don't know if you caught the DJ earlier, but we can get together for a turn up one day. We got to get together in LA. We'll have a dance party.
I agree. We should. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me.
Thank you.
We're so glad to be able to work with you. It really is an honor, and we could talk to you forever. So we'll just be in touch regarding future things.
I look forward to it, but I love what you all are doing, because I think also we talked about this very quickly, and I'm going to leave, but whenever you kick me out, but I think what you all are doing in terms of, modernizing what relationship means and partnership means on the terms of 21st century plus women, and I like to say 21st century plus women X, right, is really powerful, because the blueprint that my grandmother and my mother laid doesn't work for me. And I know, like, for instance, if I may, this is my little Lila. This is my friend Karen. And I know it's not going to work for her, right? And so we need conversations like this, which is why I was like, Lila, sit next to me. I remember before this baby was born. What you're doing is really important.
I love
that. We need to redefine and help young women define on their terms.
Thank you. We'll definitely, Megan said it. Yeah. We'll work with you again. I know this for sure. So we'll be in touch. This is not the last of seeing you in our community. That's for sure.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.